Our next topic is non-deterministic finite automata. अब हम non-deterministic finite automata, which is in short NFA, will study about that. A non-deterministic finite automata. Let's say this is your input alphabet. आपका sigma में सिर्फ एक letter है, which is A, and this is your NFA. Now let's see कि इसमें और एक DFA में, NFA में और DFA में difference क्या है. You see Q0 state पे हमारे पास दो outgoing edges हैं A के लिए. Since there is only one letter, there is only one possibility for outgoing edge, and that would be with the input letter A. So Q0 पे आपके पास A से दो outgoing edges हैं. This is not the case with the DFA. DFA में there is always one determined possibility or for the next state against an input letter. But as opposed to that, here we have two or multiple options. And likewise, if you see afterwards, at state Q1, there is only one possibility for A, and at state Q3 and state Q2, there are no possibilities, no outgoing edges with the input letter A. So that basically the difference is that for the letter A, आपके पास Q0 पे multiple choices हैं, Q1 पे भी more than 0 choice है, but Q2 और Q3 में आपकी कोई choice नहीं है. So basically, there is not a determined or a fixed path. आपके पास multiple path options हैं with the letter A. अगर Q0 पे input letter A आता है आपकी input alphabet, input string में, तो आप उसके against Q0 से Q1 वाला पाथ भी ले सकते हैं और Q0 से Q3 वाला पाथ भी ले सकते हैं. Eventually, आपने जब आप पूरी string read कर लेते हैं, eventually अगर आप final state पे हैं, in any one of the paths, किसी भी एक path से लेकर अगर आप final state पे पहुंच जाते हैं, that means कि आपकी string accept हो गई है. That means कि basically that implies कि कोई भी computation on the input string, if that leads to a final state, then the string will be accepted. अगर multiple paths हैं, उन सारे paths को explore करके eventually अगर आपकी string final state पे पहुंच जाती है, तो आपकी वो string accept हो जाती है. So let's say this is our string. Our string is AA. So let's read the string state by state. So Q1, you read the letter A at the state Q1. You go to, at state Q0, you read the letter A, you go to Q1. That's one option. You read further. The entire input is consumed. And you reach state Q2, which is the accept state. So your input is accepted. So this is one computation. Another computation on the same string would be that you are at the state Q0 and you read the letter A. You reach state Q3, and since there is no outgoing edge for the string, but you have an input letter coming afterwards as well, so the string is rejected. Automaton halts or stops there. So defining an NFA, if there is any computation at all, which leads to a acceptance string, of a string reaching an accepting state, that would be that string would be accepted by the NFA. So the idea is, if there is a computation of the NFA, any computation at all of the NFA that accepts the string, that reaches or takes the string to the accept state, then that string is accepted. So let's say we go forward. So this string, summarizing it, AA is accepted by the NFA using this computation, although there is another computation which is this, but this one's ignored, and this computation accepts it. So this is about NFA. So you don't have to concern yourself with making the machine deterministic. Whatever the string is, whatever your language is, as long as every string is accepted through one of the paths, there is not going to be only one path for a particular string. There can be multiple paths, and one of the paths takes it to the accept state, so the string would be accepted. So let's look at another example. This string will not be accepted, which is a single A. No matter how you try to traverse this string, किसी भी तरह से आप इस string को अपने NFA से गुजार लें, ये accept state नहीं पहुंच सकेगा, which is simple and which is pretty evident. आप Q0 से Q1 पे जाएं, string is consumed, but Q1 is not your final state, string is rejected. Another computation, Q0 से Q3 पे जाएं, string is consumed, but Q3 is not your final state, so string is rejected. So another example, AAA के लिए आप path Q0, Q1, Q2 लेते हैं तो भी ये रिजेक्ट हो जाती है, स्ट्रिंग कंज्यूम नहीं हुई, लेकिन आप फाइनल स्टेट पे पहुंच गए हैं और वहां से आप आगे नहीं जा सकते. बेसिकली फाइनल स्टेट पे पहुंचना जरूरी इज नॉट मैटर एट दिस पॉइंट. आप यहाँ से आगे नहीं जा सकते. थर्ड ए के लिए आपके पास कोई पाथ, कोई ट्रांजिशन नहीं है, सो ऑटोमेटन हॉल्ट्स. सिमिलरली अगर आप सेकेंड ऑप्शन लें पाथ की, सो यू गो टू आफ्टर रीडिंग द फर्स्ट लेटर, पहला ए रीड करते ही आप Q3 पे पहुंच जाते हैं और द स्ट्रिंग गेट्स टू बी रिजेक्टेड. So an NFA rejects a string if there is no computation of the NFA. मतलब for accepting there has to be any computation. For rejection there is no computation among all that accepts the string. For each computation the input is consumed, and for each computation the input has to be consumed fully, and the automaton is at a non-accepting state, or the input cannot be consumed at all. In that case, an NFA rejects a string. So A is rejected because if we traverse it in this way or this way, in neither case, this final state where A reaches, in this case which is Q1 and in this case which is Q3, you are not at the final state. So all possible computations for the letter A lead to rejection. So therefore it is rejected by the NFA. AAA is similar. So the language accepted by this particular NFA is this one string, which is AA. Okay. The next part is that in addition to this, your NFAs also allow lambda transitions. This is a specific category of NFAs, but we generally term it as an NFA, which is called NFA lambda. So NFA lambda is a subset of NFAs. When we are referring to NFAs, we are also referring to NFA lambdas. Lambda transitions may or may not be there depending upon our requirement. So Q0 is your starting state. The NFA is something like this, that from Q0 you go to Q1 with an A, from Q1 to you go to Q2 with a lambda, and Q2 to Q3 is led by an A. Now if your letter is, or input string is AA, let's see how it traverses over this particular NFA lambda. So you read A, you go from Q0 to Q1. Now at the next step, you don't read the input letter. Input head or input tape head does not move at all. It stays here because you don't have a transition for the letter with the next letter here, A, at the state Q1, but you have lambda transition. You can take lambda transition anywhere because you can assume that between any two letters of the string there is a lambda, because lambda is nothing. So between two letters there is nothing. So you can always take the lambda transition if you don't have another option. So you go to Q2 from Q1 using this lambda transition, and then from Q2 you take the next letter, your tape head moves, and you use this transition with the letter A, read this A, take this transition, reach Q3, which is an accept state, evident by this double circle, and input is consumed. For rejection, again the same thing applies. You state Q0, you read A, you go to Q1, the tape head does not move, you go forward, you go to Q2, then you have the next letter, the tape head moves, and you are at the next letter where you reach Q3. At the state Q3, you see if the input is consumed, but that is not. You still have A, but you don't have a transition for that. So you stop here, and the string AA is rejected. So the language accepted by this automata, this NFA lambda, is AA again. It's similar. to the one we have just studied. So the NFA lambda and NFA are all similar to one another, but there are 3 different variations we have here for accepting different letters. So that's about it. I'll continue with this in another session.